question kind of made me realize that I could foresee myself enjoying MMA for the rest of my life more than I would do obstacle racing. And then that was when I was like, my heart is for MMA. It was not fully in obstacle racing anymore as I thought it was. So that was when I decided, I was like, okay, I need to change. I need to focus on one, and as much as I don't want to, I need to let go the other. And when I made that decision, I think it was a good starting point for me, because I think that I took the opportunity, and I fell in love with it over time, because it was something that I never thought I'd do, but I just fell in love with it. And everything has been amazing since. Good coaches, good teammates. So yeah.
Right.
Can you hear
Right.
me?
Yeah, I
I
can
can't
hear
see
you,
you.
but I can't see you.
Mm, I can't see you.
Okay,
Oh, no.
I can hear you, I think, but I can't see you.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh
It's
my
like your
God,
camera went off.
we're just talking to a black screen.
Mm,
Okay, never mind. I think we'll just continue. Okay, because you need to leave at 4:20, right? So
yeah.
maybe you will
Four
just
4:30 later, sir.
okay. Okay, so you were saying about you were talking about deciding on doing MMA, because I think it's important that when you have set your heart to do something, you just go all out for it, because it's easier for you to focus, and you can just easily eliminate. Hey, Colleen, um so we were talking about
Mm-hmm.
you did Spartan, and actually you found your love with MMA. But what if
Mm-hmm.
you are not doing MMA? I mean, is there another sport that you are actually, maybe you want to try to get
So I was doing before I was doing MMA. But if I did it, I'm not entirely sure, to be honest.
Hmm.
Maybe I could. I feel like it will either be, if I wasn't doing MMA specifically, maybe I would be competing in wrestling or jiu-jitsu, maybe. Because I would that. And personally, I really do love grappling sports, which is Brazilian jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So maybe I end up pushing myself towards focusing on jiu-jitsu or wrestling way more.
Hmm.
Maybe that's a possibility. Like for now, there's no other sport where I'm kind of like, I would want to try that more than the sports that I'm already in. So like for sure, like for me, my main focus is MMA, but of course I do love competing in wrestling, and I do love competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments and stuff like that. But grappling martial arts and those tournaments a bit more.
Right,
And now my main focus is MMA.
right. Okay. So why do you think it's important for women to learn
Mm-hmm.
some sort of martial arts? I mean, I have two kids, two daughters. I would really want
Oh
them
wow.
to be a badass as well, because I think the world is not safe anymore. But again, just like you said, it goes down to your intention of why you want to use it. It's an art in its own, and the art is always goes back to discipline. But I mean, personally, your journey for so long doing MMA, why do you think women should learn? Why do you think women should be learning? I mean, because your mom did it, you did it, so it inspires everyone. Looking at your Instagrams, like, wow, I want to be Colleen too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me personally, from my point of view, if we're talking about why I think women and girls should learn MMA, I also do believe that actually boys should learn martial arts, not MMA, but I'm talking about martial arts in itself, and even men and women, uh, girls and women. If you're talking about just girls and women for now, definitely I think it's very important for them to learn martial arts, because one, it teaches you, so you know where you are, what you're doing with your body. Your proprioception is much better. Not only that, it gives women and girls much more confidence in themselves, where which is more of, am I able to do this, more than focusing on how one looks in some sense. When we're talking about um you know what can I do, more than what can my body aid me to do and give me the ability to do, more than how it looks, then it gets a bit better. And not only that, it makes you stronger mentally and also physically
Mm.
for girls, because you build that confidence, because you're like, wow, I can do this.
Yeah.
So you're more inclined to be more confident in yourself in your daily life as you walk. And when the reason why we say women and girls should learn more martial arts and all that as a form of self-defense is because of the world that we live in. It looks like they are aware of their surroundings and someone who is confident,
Mhm.
because they basically see this girl knows what's what. She's aware of everything, which means that she'll be very cautious.
Right.
So predators like easy targets.
Mm.
So, you are basically eliminating one factor just by that, because you're more confident with yourself, the way you walk and everything like that. You're more cautious, because martial arts does give you that sixth sense, because you need to learn to know when something doesn't feel right. There is a reason why, because in martial arts your sixth sense is a thing. Your body gives you a danger signal for a reason, so it starts pushing you towards that. Not only that, in martial arts, like in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which personally I feel for girls is literally one of, and I know a lot of girls don't really like that body contact, but I think it's a really, really good sport, good martial art in itself to learn as a form of self-defense, because it puts you in extremely uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
You are literally be forced into extremely uncomfortable positions, and from there it teaches you how to deal with the situation and yourself in those situations.
Mm.
Because in jiu-jitsu, the more you panic in uncomfortable situations, the worse it gets for you. So especially, like, god forbid something happens to us on the street,
Yeah.
first thing that most of us do is panic. And
Yeah.
panicking is actually the worst thing you could possibly do, because your mind is not sound, it is not calm, which means it's not thinking clearly. But when you've already been put into situations where you're uncomfortable, you'll be like, I have been here before. I understand this is uncomfortable, but I know how to get out of it, and I know how to calm myself down in order to get out of those situations. Developing young girls and women, changing the way they think, giving them the confidence that they need, and being able to, uplift them and empower them, honestly, especially with amazing coaches and good teammates.
Yeah.
Literally, like, the girls in my gym, the jiu-jitsu girls in my gym, we didn't used to have that many. Right now, under Professor Bruno, we literally, majority of the class are women, and we go and compete, and we train with one another, we push one another, and that gives you the sense of community and empowerment too, which I think sometimes a lot of young women a very distorted image of how we have to look a certain way, or certain body dysmorphia and all that. And I think having that kind of community really can help the development mentally and physically of a young girl, definitely, because I know doing martial arts really changed the way I saw myself as a teenager, and as I grew into a young adult, it really changed and shaped me to the way I am today. So definitely it is very important.
Right. Right. What I can grasp from,
Oh,
in order to I think is to firstly to get yourself uncomfortable so that you can get yourself out of the comfort zone, right? So you are able to try new things, to push yourself to something that you're not familiar with. So actually you don't really know that you could until you tried it. And like for yourself,
exactly.
you fell in love with it. So it's a stigma that yeah, I mean, in our society especially, sad to say, some people, they just want to polarize it in such a way that, it is that gender inequality, that women can't do this, you you're a girl. So to get out that comfort zone, and yeah, and try something new, especially a self-defense sport, it's something like, you really break yourself out of that shell and really shatter that glass ceiling, because women can do what men can. It's not a men's sport, it's not a woman's sport either. It's just a sport. It's just an art that everyone can get themselves into. Am I correct?
For sure. 100%. 100%. For sure.
Right. So that was really inspiring, when you laid out like that, it really gives me goosebumps, because I grew up with boys. I'm from an all girls school. Now I have really amazing. So I think before we just wrap it up, maybe there's, you know,
Mhm.
I know you have said so much about it, but maybe there's some advice that you want to give to young girls out there, or maybe, young ladies like me, on um, getting yourself into MMA, or doing self-defense sport, or anything that, a bit of advice from you, Colleen, that you want to share with us.
Um, I guess I would just say that to the women and young girls out there for sure is hi. So to all the girls out there and young women out there, don't let anyone stop you from achieving your dreams or trying things that you've always wanted to try. If you want to take up that boxing class, go ahead and just do it. If you want to take up motorsports, if you want to start dancing, you want to pick up drawing, whatever it is that you want to achieve, go ahead and do it. People will always judge us, but let them judge us while we are having the time of our lives. So go out and do what you want to do. Be brave and be confident.